Alright, today I'm gonna do the first video that I've ever done, like with no script. Absolutely no script. I haven't written anything. I have a topic that I want to talk about. And I'm gonna talk about the topic to spread news to the youth. I am the youth, but I'm spreading news to the youth. No event, absolutely no event on this world has the power to make you sad, has the power to make you unhappy. There is nothing that can happen to you that will genuinely make you sad. The thing which makes you sad and the thing that has all the power are your thoughts about that situation. See, when you hear someone died, right? People think that someone dying is objectively a bad thing. But let's say a ruthless dictator was killed. More people will be celebrating than in grief. So death, which people see as something bad, doesn't even make you sad. It's your thoughts about the certain death. And I truly realized that your thoughts are the things that make you unhappy. Because I had cricket kit, right? So for those of you who don't know, I used to play cricket when I was younger. So I had cricket kit, and cricket kit is relatively expensive, even after you've used it. So I decided to sell my cricket kit. All of it was probably going to go for about like $200 to $250, right? So I gave it to this guy to sell. With the kit, there was a bag, there was my bats, pads, a helmet, a box. There was like all of the gear. And then like the most important part is just know there was a bag and then there was a lot of the gear. The bag was the least expensive thing. So when he sold my cricket gear, he put all of the gear in the bag. But then he sold the bag as a bag. Like the bag got listed as a bag. So someone didn't know they were buying all their cricket gear. They just bought the bag. And the bag cost like $20. So for my $200 to $250 worth of cricket kit, I got $20. And on top of that, there was commission. So I didn't even get the $20. I got $13 for cricket kits that was worth $200 to $250. But you want to know something odd? This experience, it made me unhappy for like 30 minutes. Because I was like, how could this happen? Because I was actually looking forward to getting that money. And I was just like, what the hell? For like 30 minutes. Then afterwards, I changed the way I thought about the situation. So I found ways to think positively about the situation. You can call me delusional. You can call me whatever. But one of the main thoughts I thought to myself is, you know what? That kit probably went to some child who didn't have the money to buy full kit. And because of that, he's going to enjoy playing cricket for many years to come. Another thoughts I've been having about the situation that it was a good experience to have and it was a good lesson to learn. Because let's say it's sold for 200. Let's say someone was going to buy it for 200 and I got it for 13. I learned the lesson that if you want to sell something, you should either do it yourself or sell it through someone who has a proven track record. I learned that lesson and it cost me $187. And when I think about the grand scheme of things and the things that I want to do in my life, I'm going to be selling things later on. Let's say I have like a nice car and I just want to sell it. That car is going to be worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if I was to make the same mistake I made with my cricket gear, imagine what would happen. I would lose, like cars depreciate in value already, but of that depreciated value, I would lose so much more of it because I would sell it through someone who wasn't trusted, someone who didn't have a proven track record. Yeah, so I want you to notice how I use my thoughts to change my perspective on the situation. Because objectively, the situation is still the same thing. Cricket gear that should have sold for $200 sold for $20. For the first 30 minutes, my way of thoughts, my school of thought, it caused a lot of unhappiness. I was like, how could this happen? How could this happen? But on the other hand, the way I've been thinking after the first 30 minutes, like when I think about the events that I lost, like it sold for $20 instead of $200, it's like, the way I think is weird. It's a very stoic way of thinking. The way I think is, first of all, that money was never mine because it never came into my hands. And people may be like, you're taking it sitting down. But like, trust me, there's nothing I can do. Like, there's honestly nothing I can do. If there was something I could do, I would try and like get my money's worth. But like, there's really nothing I can do. And it's my fault that I was in this situation. So there's no point of me going to a person and be like, when it's like my fault. If I had done something different, it wouldn't have happened. And another good thought to have about like situations where something could potentially make you unhappy if you let your thoughts control your perception is this was meant to happen. Because I truly believe me getting $20, it's actually $13. Me getting $13 for kits that was worth $200. It was meant to happen. It was meant to teach me a valuable lesson. See, I believe that everything in our life happens for a reason. So the things that just make you unhappy, the things that you don't like in your life, God makes them happen for a reason. And for every person is unique. So everything that happens in your life is shaping you into the person that you need to become. Not into like a moldable NPC character, but who you need to be. So if your name is John Doe, every single experience in your life is shaping you to become the best John Doe possible. And whether you become the best John Doe possible or not is up to you. But the experiences that you're being provided with are what you need to become your best version. And then this takes me on to another point. Like, this is just gonna be something about my life, right? That I've been battling with. So I didn't choose to go to uni. I'm still in the same country. It's not really the same country because it's like the same country with different people, if that makes sense. But like this period, since my friends have been gone, they're coming back soon. But this period has been a huge period of solitude. I can say for certain I've gone through a lot of growth. Like, let's say you just go back and watch my videos from last year, August, and compare my videos to now. I'm sure you can tell, or I'm sure the growth will be visible, whether it's just physically, or you can tell by the way I speak, the way I articulate my thoughts. So I've been having this thought that maybe I made the wrong decision. Maybe I actually should have gone to uni, well, at the same time as everyone else. But what I said just now, that everything in your life happens for a reason. God will put certain situations in your life to mold you into the character that you need to be. And God knew that I was going to make this decision. So this period where I spent alone, and it seems like I know I've made growth, but it's like materially wise, like I would actually say I have relatively little to show for the past 8 months. But with what I've said, that God puts situations in your life for a reason. This period where I've been in like more solitude than normal, where I've spent most of my days alone, just thinking and developing my ways of thought, my principles, right? It's an important time in my life, and for what I need to achieve and what God has planned for me, it was a necessary part of my life. Because if it wasn't necessary, it wouldn't have happened. So this video is taking a turn. And the turn is that whatever you're going through right now, if you have thoughts of like, why am I doing this? Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do this? Just know that on your way to your fullest potential, there are going to be certain events, certain situations where you don't know why you're going through them, but it will only make sense in hindsight. Knowing this can bring you some sort of peace, because whatever you're going through now, you need to go through it to become the best version of yourself. And that's a message to you as much as it's a message to me. Sometimes I forget that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes I forget that some situations are necessary, and that every decision you make is leading you to a certain path. And if you're going down the road not taken, I think you will have moments like this more than other people. You will be wondering, am I really making the right choice? Should I have done what everyone else did? But only time will tell.